Hello everybody, this is Sonya. I'm on here today because I'm going to do more work on this one, and I'm in Australia, and maybe this is a Saturday story. You'll see this on Saturday maybe. I don't want to leave them too long apart, but so I've just been I finished that patch there. I've actually taken this bit off and I forgot to put it back on. I'm going to put it back on there, I think. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. I'm going to cut it off because I found it was too big, too wide. I just wanted a very slight amount of this across the back. Because I want to keep working on this, I'll probably put these videos up more than once a week, maybe. We'll see what happens anyway. But I'm going to might put it back under there, just for interest's sake. I'll see if we stick it back under there or not. Now I've cut out some petals because I want to put a flower on. I'm going to sew that on there. But before we start that, we're going to make something else, because we need to do some bits of decoration as well, like different things than what we've learned so far. And everybody will probably has seen some of the stuff that I've done in them other books that I showed you, that my ideas, and they're everybody's ideas, but they were what I put in my ideas book, and the things that I've made. Now I've got to fix the camera up a bit. What's my doing here with making a video of things hanging down there like that? Okay, so I'm going to knit today, a small, very small piece of knitting, but a very knit anyway. I'm not clever at it. I'm going to do what I can knit, and I've done a bit. I do love to do small knitting. I love to do small knitting, and these are my bead knitting needles, where I have done bead knitting, which you knit with the beads. And I'm just doing ordinary today, and I'm using some of the crochet thread. Now there's a very long, so that they're nearly up to my hip. Well, they're not really, but they just feel wrong. I always cast on by picking up to both sides of my last stitch, both bits. Oops. I want to learn to do it in. It's getting caught with stuff on the table now. I want to learn to do this in the same style as that Anna and Koala do them in Norway, and they have got this really neat way they do it. You don't even do this wrap around thing. You just get your needle and pick up your cotton from over here somewhere, and I'll have to sit down and practice doing that, won't I, when I feel, clever, maybe, if you think. So we're making a little bit of knitting because we want to put a little bit of knitting on there. I tried yesterday to knit with some toothpicks. Well, that was a disaster, wasn't it? I'll show you it in a minute. And then the next lot I did, I made them too big. The next lot I did, I made too big. So hopefully, whoops, missed that, goes around there. Hopefully I'll be able to get it right. Now that's split that, so that's not good. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Move up there, come off, get off, okay? So we only want a couple more stitches. So I don't know if you can knit. Well, this is not actually me teaching you to, because honestly, I'm going along with it. I haven't got enough time on this video to do that, to teach knitting, but if anybody knows just the basics, we can do that. I can knit, but knitting, I can't remember when I learnt, so there you go. So I've been doing it since I was a child. I've knitted many, many things, but like I said, I'm a bit slow because I have to do this wrap-around thing. In Norway, they got this really neat style. Probably other places as well. You put your needle over there somewhere, and you pick it up like this, and you bring it through. We're not going to do that. We haven't got time to fiddle with that this morning. Okay, so I'm going to have it that long. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'll take one off. That'll be 12 stitches, okay? So now I'm just going to do plain. Just going to do a row of plain knitting. And like I said, these keep getting caught on the things on the table. That's not handy, is it? This is as far as I can... only place I can sit to do it, isn't it? I have to sit. Just go steady. Go through there. Because these are, it's very small. It's very small and not easy to do. You don't have to use something this small to do yours with. You can do an ordinary size piece. You know, you can do it with bigger needles. I had the bigger needles, but I didn't have the right size thread for it. I was just doing a test runs, you know. But I wanted to do it with fine cotton, so that's why I'm doing it with this one. I don't know what I've got here. Is this right? Yeah, I think so. I always have this end bit that doesn't work for me properly because I probably didn't cast it on right, I don't know. So push that up there, Sonia. I did before this size here. And I had some cotton. And when I finish doing this, I'll show you what I did. It was too open, too baggy. Didn't like it. But anyway, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this to put to our work. I seem to be gone to the blues and apricot colours now on this piece, don't I? It looks really pretty though, I think. So far what I've done. Might take a little while, but it's all worth it anyway. It's really good. It's good therapy. It's good for everything. Keeps you busy, keeps you quiet. I really enjoy doing it. The slow stitching and all sorts. We'll see this would be because we're knitting and we're only doing it slow. It's stitching. Somebody put up an ad to teach it on something, and they explain what exactly it is. And I don't think it's very hard. I think just people have just brought it back from the olden days. There's a lot of different styles, and they got different names. It's the Japanese, I think it is. It's got one. They do that. I can't even say it. It starts with an S, and then the burrow stitch or something. That's in a different. Somebody else does that. It just depends which way what you do. I think that's just a straight thing, all covered in. The whole patch that you do with slow stitching, which I have made some of. So I'm really like to do these interesting ones. You know, the ones with all the. Now what have I done here? Something wrong. Should I take that off? No, got lifted up the wrong thing. Have you ever seen anybody knit and just not realise that they've actually dropped the stitch? They can't see where it is. It's just, and that is very frustrating because you have to take notice of what you're doing and what your work's supposed to look like when you get there, you know. It is frustrating when people don't look at what they're doing and think that that's just right, you know. If they've dropped a stitch, they don't know how to. They can't see how to pick it back up again. I'm not being mean, I hope. I don't think, you know. Some people just don't look at the world. You know what I mean? They can go around and do whatever they're doing and don't see anything. You know, like your stitches you drop when you're in. You're oblivious to what's going on around them. Well, most of them have got phones in front of them now. I hadn't seen a lot of them up the street with on their phones just lately. I mean, I was always complaining about that one night. But the other day, this girl was just walking straight towards me. She wasn't watching where she was going. She was looking at her phone. She just looked up when she finally seen me, smiled and just kept going, looked down at the phone again and kept on going. Now, if she got run over or fell over, she probably would be stunned, you know. She would think, oh dear, how did that happen? And she wasn't young, you know. She was probably in her late 20s or something. She should have known a bit better than that. It's just ridiculous. People See a lot of them sitting up the street on their phones. I think they might be trying to get some internet from somewhere while they're doing that, but I don't think you can do that. I don't know how that works, but I don't think you can unless you've got a password or something, number. Anyway, I know I'm just roving on. Somebody said I had some... Last comment I got from a lady, she was nice though, she wasn't being mean, she was just saying she liked to listen to me jibbery-jabbery. Jibbery-jabbery Australian accent or something. It's okay. I just say some things sometimes and I don't... Well, it's hard to make conversation, and especially when there's nobody there to talk back to you. But then, you know, I could still... I don't know, how long have I been doing this? It's just taken me 10 minutes so far to get this far. Goodness me. Geez, I wouldn't want to be making a jumper, would I? Something. I used to do a fair bit once. When I said before I hadn't, well I have, but not for a long time. Haven't knitted for a long time. Made myself this beautiful fluffy grey jumper when I was young. Oh, I loved it. It was my absolute favourite. It was mohair and another wool together, and it was beautiful. And I washed it, and being living where it was really cold at the time, I was in Orange, I asked my stepfather to keep an eye on it because I put it in front of the heater, to which he just ignored that, and I was absolutely devastated because it got all burnt. I didn't think I had it that close to the heater, but he ignored me. He did. He wasn't taking one bit of notice. Or he didn't care if it got fire. Sitting there with it. Anyway, it was a bit of a beef that it just wasn't a nice thing to do to me, was it? It was my favourite jumper. I suppose why couldn't he smell it? It was burning, you know, the fur. There was really long fluff on it, you know, like this. And, oh, I don't like to say this, but I didn't like him, and he knew I didn't too. But that was just how things were, you know. And so therefore we didn't have a very pleasant relationship. My mother was going to say no more. Shut up, Sonya. I want to put this video up, and if I keep talking, people won't want to watch me if I say things like that. But I didn't like him. I can't help that. I can't help that one bit whatsoever, because there was just something about him and I just didn't like him. And even before he burnt me jumper, so maybe... I don't think he did it on purpose, I don't know. I was going out, I had to go and have a quick shower or something. I wanted it dry because I'd washed it and it hadn't quite dried because of it was so cold, and we never had dryers. People did, but we didn't have one. So ours was the closed lines inside, you know, so it was hanging on that clothes dry thing in front of the heater. It singed it, I suppose. It didn't actually burn it. It was all singed and anyway. That's another story. Not really. I just told you a terrible story, but I don't know. It's just sometimes we don't like everybody, do we? We don't have to, I suppose. Don't have to dislike them either, but you know what I mean? Sometimes there's people that you just can't help it. I guess so. He wasn't my dad, and I guess I feel like a lot of other kids that I felt like a lot of other young people that, you know, when their parents remarry or something, they might not get on with whoever they remarry or whatever. So, you know, you don't have to, do you? We don't understand, I guess, how people's lives are when we're only kids. I suppose I was a teenager, but still. Okay, now to stop talking. I feel a bit embarrassed about what I've just said, but I hope you're not going to judge me. I mean, it's just the way of the world is, you know. People don't like to talk about their own lives, but now I've got to wreck me bit of sewing. You did a knit in here now, rattling on here. Okay. You'll probably think I'm a terrible person. I keep getting stuck. What's going on with this? Here, come back here. Hope you can still see what I'm doing. I'm just making a... He used to say really mean things to me. So, okay. Oh, God. Anyway, never mind. And that's why, I guess, because he wasn't a very nice person. He was alcoholic. So now maybe if you haven't turned me off in disgust about what I said, you might understand it. I don't know if some of my relatives watch this, and they knew anyway what's going on, so it doesn't matter. My mother never stayed with him for that long. Well, I suppose she was with him for a few years, and she had to get rid of him because he was really drinking all the time. And anyway, you don't know what people are like, do you, until you live with them? Maybe. Okay, so I've done that. Now, where did I put the things I made before? I want to show you the other ones I did. The cat got up here, so I had to move the stuff before he got it. He was getting up here, so I had to move my things out of the way before he did. I can't see it. Okay, so I want a pin. I wonder why I didn't leave that down here. Okay, here's one. It might be too long. It's too big. You wonder why sometimes you do things, don't you? It's me clock. I don't want to miss out on showing you any more because of me having a delay of the process. What did I do with them other things that I made? I don't think I put them in the bin. It would have been a bit silly, wouldn't it? Because I was going to show you what the results were for what size. Here we go, I found one. But I think I wanted the bigger one because it had a bigger pin on it. I've got little pins. Here we are. Oh. So, I know my table's clean. It is tidy, but I've just got those things from what I'm using. This was the last one that I did with a really, it was a cotton that I knitted, and it's we're still pulling under now and use it, and it's too open, I think. So this one was the first one I did, and it was way too open. I did that with the toothpick. Toothpicks. That was tedious, a bit, hard to handle. I'm going to put these onto a pin, these stitches, instead of the toothpicks, because, well, on the other thing I've got, they fell off the toothpick after a while. So I'm thinking, well, I'll just put them on here, these stitches, move them over. Because I like that a bit better, eh? I do. This is a bit better because it's I'm really concentrating here, so try not to say anything wrong. Sorry about this, but I'll get it. I'll get them. I know sometimes things look hard, but they're not. I'm really worried though when I'm pushing this through that I'm going to get it through between the threads, you know, and I don't want to do that, so I'm trying to be careful. And I got it. Took me a little while, but you know what, it's worth to take the time because you don't want to muck it up, do you? Then you have to redo it, so it's worth taking the time with it. And then it's on there, see, look, I think that looks pretty cool. Might have did with a tiny bit bigger pin, but I don't know, I think it looks all right because you don't want it to be too big. Okay, now I'll move those ones. I'll cut this off. You don't have to worry about it coming undone because it's pinned on there. Oh, well, hang on a minute. No, that's not true. Hang on a minute. Will that come undone there? Yes, of course it will. Come out the hole, Sonya. Trying a bit of glue might help. Or when I pin it, when I stitch it on, I could stitch that bit down, couldn't I, when I sew it onto the piece. And the piece will work. Okay. So I'm going to put these, I found these little red pins too, and I really like these. So I'm going to pin them on here somewhere. So what else was there for me to show you today? What else we can put on here? So you can do your bit of stitching. I'll do a button. I'll show you how to do a button. And then we're going to stitch that on there too, aren't we? How much time we got? Oh, a little bit longer yet. We're right. So I can show you the button now. That's really easy. See the button? I want to show you the little stitching too. There you go. I'll show you the button, how to do that. That's really easy to do. I have got some pieces of calico here, and I do like them made out of the calico, but I think I should maybe make a different colour. What do you reckon? That might look good. I'll try this one. So what you've got to do is make... I did a circle of, I think I might have used felt, so I'm going to use a little bit of this. Oh, don't do that to that, Sonya. Don't cut that up, Sonya. Make yourself cry. I've got a bit of felt here and it's green. And I'll need a bit of glue. Maybe. Maybe not, I don't know yet. We'll see what happens, how big we can make this. We don't want it too big. We do not want it too big, and we want it to be round. So that's square. Okay, as you can see. I'm just going to cut the corners off it. I've got two thicknesses of felt. Little tiny bits. You can use other material. You can use whatever you want to. Put in whatever you like. I'll stick them down. I'm going to use this. Good tacky. Is it running? No, not fast enough. How about this one? Is it running? Not fast enough. Oh, goodness me. I'm not going to use that other stuff. Is this one started or not? I haven't used my glue for a long time, so I don't know if this is open. I'll have to go check and see. Yes, it is. It's open. I'm only going to glue the felt together. I'm not going to put any glue on anything else. That should come out of there. Sometime today, let's have that thing, put the pin in it. Let's have this pin in it, so it shouldn't be... come on, why don't they go up in there? I'm sure that pin was in there. This is a bit dangerous what you're doing here, Sonya. Shove this in your finger and you won't be happy. Whoops. Why isn't that not going in there? Come out of there, didn't it? I hope I did have that pinned in. I did. Oh, look at that. It's not going to go. It must not have been in there. That's a bit sad, isn't it? Now you're going to have your glue all stuck up. I'm just going to have to put that come out of there. I know it did because it didn't go down the side of it. I know it come off there. And I don't understand why it didn't stay. I'll put that back in there. That's enough of that. Where's some glue stick? It's in there too. Stick it with a bit of glue stick. Right, and you can do the material with this too because it shouldn't get wet. Shouldn't wet it, I hope. Goodness me, that's a few minutes we're not going to have back in. That's a waste of our time that was. Sorry about that. Oh, come on, off there. Don't take it all the way. When you put it on in between the two pieces, stick down please. I need two bits, don't I? So they're sitting on top of one another like that. And that's got to be cut off because I can't have that around the edge of it. I don't have much left by the time I finish here chopping bits off, am I? It's alright, we can do this. Now I need a piece of thread on a bit of cotton. Bit of cotton on threaded. Come here. Oh dear. It's one of them days, aren't I? It was going good. I was going good, I must say. The time goes really quick, doesn't it, when you're doing something that you like? And it really does for me. I've got glue all over me now. It really goes quick for me because I'm trying to get these done as many as I can. I can imagine get two done a day nearly now too, because I'm not working the whole day, but my time allowed. I'm going to put, now when you do yours, don't use such a tiny piece of material, okay? Because that's not a good idea. You get yourself a big bit that you can play around with. Yes, so I'm going to go underneath here to start this. And hopefully I can stitch this in a circle around here. Best circle I can do. I'm going to go right through to the other side, through all the, I'm not going through the felt, I'm on the edge of the felt, okay? And this here, I've just had a look at it, I just had an idea. See, these would have been good to put in there. They're round pieces already. This one here, I've got to follow me the idea, but you know what? If the button's not round, nobody's going to worry about it. I don't think they will. Anyway, I hope I can cut me cotton. I won't be happy. I'm going to cut round here. Okay. It's a fine bit skewy, but I'm going to sew it, and then then we'll see what happens, eh? Come here. I've got two pieces of thread because I really wanted to be able to see this, and I could have did it in a different colour, I suppose, but I didn't want to be able to see it that obvious, you know what I mean? I wanted it to be a tiny bit laid back. Now that's a bit too far over this piece under here. I'm going to cut a bit off that. There we go. So if you can make a nice round circle to start with, it's a good idea. And then you just go around your button. This is your button. Well, that's what I reckon it is anyway. That's what I'm telling you. This is a button we're making. Now, try and keep this inside bit as round as you can. These pieces of thread are going to be playing up on me here. going through, because you can cut off the end bit in a minute to the right size, okay? And trim it back so you get a nice shape, maybe, hopefully. If you wanted to, I thought about this after I started, I could have drew a circle on the back and then followed that around, okay? Because you wouldn't see the back. Could have just drew it and then stitched it. Oh, I cannot do it. Every time I go to do this with me 2 pieces of cotton tied into a knot, it plays up on me something frightful. And for some reason they just don't go through together properly all the time. They just don't want to. Don't play nice at all. Okay. I think I'm going for a bit of the felt there. I want to cut that bit off there that's too long, at least where I started, and cut this bit of felt off a bit, back a bit. Okay, cut that bit off. Come on. I don't know if it's me or not, but I reckon these new glasses aren't as good as what my old ones were. It's really weird, isn't it? You get something different. I've got to. If I'm not happy, I should be taking them back in there's a certain time limit that you can take them back in, but I don't like that idea that I've got to do that. Now you're going to come up in the middle and stitch it down like so. You can make these out of lace. You can make about like anything you want to, can't you? You can just have fun with it. Make buttons, because fabric buttons are good. This would still work too as a button. You could sew it on something, and I intend to. I'm going to just cut that off there, because I'm going to be sewing on something else. Will be the piece of work underneath me, I think, and just trim around there like so. I only used a small piece of material because that's what I had sitting there. I wanted to change. I did want a different colour than what I had. I really picked out the calico one. I wanted a different one from the calico one. There you go. See, look, there's a button. Okay. I like the button idea. Now, so we've got 2 buttons now. They can go on there. We've got the little tiny bit of stitching. I might have a bit of a sew at this here for a few minutes just to show you how I'm going to put that on, because I want one of those flowers that are halfway. I want a halfway flower, and I seem to have lost me bit of stuff I was using here to make the inside bit. What am I doing with that? I don't know what I want to put on the middle of it. Oh no, don't think that'll work. It's a heart. It could do. It could do, you never know, do you? So we're going to stitch this on. And I just wanted to do it in straight stitches. I'm just going to move on the chair a bit, move myself over a bit. Ooh. It's all right, everybody, don't worry. I just leant on something that in that direction and it didn't go well. So what am I going to use? Something thin. I got this really thin, really nice bit of thread here, but it's not as thin as I thought it was, eh? So we could go with that there. Piece of this. Yes, this is like what you use to do candle wicking. This is what this is. Candle wicking is knots, mostly cream on cream. Not one of my favourites because it's too one colour. I guess that's probably what it is, too one colour. So I hope this is not too thick when I'm doing this. I hope it's not too thick. So while the other petals fly away, I'll just fasten this one down. I'm just going to do him in some straight stitches around the outside of him. Alright, okay, I'll stop that, and then, oh no, oh come on, stop, and then I'll just have a few more minutes. Where's my clock? Oh, there it is. Rightio. So I just want a few stitches around here. I think this is too thick. Oh, maybe not. I need some sort of something you can see, don't you? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stitch around this like that. And you don't, if you want to put some fray stop or something on the edge of it, you can. I'm not, or maybe a bit of glue stuff or something, I don't know. I have some of that fray stopping stuff, but I've never used it, I don't think. I bought it, but I didn't use it. Because I don't know, I never had the need to, I guess. Now, the next one on. So, I didn't show you me cutting them out, did I? I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. How to cut out your 3 petals. Now, don't go too close to the edge of this, because if you do, I'm going to come from your fingernail in a minute. If you do, it'll fray undone. So just take it in a fair bit. It's not going to matter. It's all to do with the decoration of the thing, isn't it? The texture and all that sort of stuff. So you don't want to do it too close to the edge. I'm in there about a good 1/8 of an inch, I think. I'm going to cut off this piece of that's underneath. That was just a tacking stitch that was there. I'm only going to cut that end bit off. I'm not taking the whole thing out, so I don't need to do that. Okay. I'll just go back 1 stitch. I had a sign on one of these boxes that there was this stuff in there that I was looking for. It was not. It was a lie. I must have took it out of there and put in something else and didn't change the name on it, so I'm going to have to go look for something. That's okay. I'll try not to make a mess. I've got a bit of stuff laying around me here now because I'm working on it, because I can't put it away while I'm doing it, can I? So, next one is here. I'm only going to do 3 because I want them to be like that. Now that is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it, how that worked out? I do like how that works out, you know. I'm going to put it like it's a flower that's going, it's a sideways flower. I might give it a stem and needs a centrepiece, doesn't it, up there? I think I did something like this on the crazy patchwork, didn't I? No, I don't remember. I could have a look at it to see what I put. Okay. I think I had a good idea about something, so about my chair. I told you about that. But what I decided is I'm going to get one that hasn't got wheels on it. I just wanted to turn around under the table and then turn back out again. What do you reckon? That'll work. They have big flat bases on them or whatever, or some sort of feet with no wheels. No wheels on them, so you don't get wheeled away. Okay, I'm excited about that. So I'll let you know when it happens. Don't you worry, and I'll show it to you. Okay, that looks really cool. Love it. I do love that. I'm a really big fan of applique. And I told Pam Elderfield to go back to what she used to do first if you got your no mojo, because somebody told me that. Or they wrote it somewhere or something, but to do what you used to do when you first started out. And I did a lot of applique, was my first thing. Oh, isn't that going to look ducky on that? Isn't that going to look really good for a stem? Right, but I'm going to show you how to cut out that flower, easy as anything. You just have to get a piece of fabric, of course. What do you need a piece of fabric for? Where did I put a piece of fabric like that? I must have put it back in the cupboard. The thing isn't that good of me. I better put it back in there. Yeah, I did. Where is it? Where are you? Oh dear. Come on. I don't have to have the same thing though, do I? Let's just cut it out of something else. This not going to work. A piece there might. Now, all you've got to do, and I cut out 4. I did 4, but I only wanted to use 3. You can have as many as you like, of course. So I'm going to, hang on, cut this down a bit further for you. You can start out with a square-ish sort of thing. Right. I could actually probably use these on this. This is a piece of old sheet or pillowcase or something, that is. So you need a square, like so. And I have made that too small. What have I done? I need it to be big. Get 2 more squares. Get another square, sorry. Another square. Another square. We'll be right if we have another square. You'll have plenty of material when you're around me, don't you? Ah, dear. Right, so I've got 4 pieces, Sonia, like so, because that way you're going to get 3 in the long run, but I wanted them all the same. So what I did was I just did that, right? I folded, I've got 4 pieces, and I'm going to do this. I'm just going to cut this up here, like so, and go around here, like this. Just make it in the shape of a petal, okay? And come back down here to a point. And I probably didn't do that as nice as what I would have liked, but, you know, there it is. There's your pieces. So there you go. It's real easy when you get just 4. But maybe I could put another one on here, but I don't think I will. I'll just use it for something else. Okay, so that's how you cut your bits out. Now, in that piece there, I'd like to put something interesting in that bit. I had that heart, didn't I? I don't know how that is going to look on there. I don't know what I think about it. So, because I better move myself along, I better go, and I will come back and show you more work on this. What have we done with this as a knitting? What did we do with our knitting? Our knitting's here somewhere. Oh, come on, little knitting, where'd you go? I'll have to find it. Here we go. Oh, it's sitting here on top of this. So we've got some little knitting. We've got some buttons. Okay. And we've got a stitched on flower, which I don't know what I think about putting that on there. So that could be the centre. Anyway, I'll find something. We'll find something to put on that. Maybe we'll make a little puffy thing. Could put a button on it. You know, there's always lots of different ideas. Button. Yes, we're going to make one of those to go on there, right? Might not be exactly that colour, but we'll see what we do. Alright, so thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have a nice day and you're enjoying doing this. I know some of you are going to get some things to get on with it. So just do your little bit of knitting. If you can't do any knitting, don't worry about it. Just find something else to put on your pin. You know, there's lots of things out there you could use. A piece of lace. Put a piece of lace on your pin. You see, that would work too if you had a bit of that, wouldn't it? If you put your pin in through the top of that and just use that as an idea. I hope this doesn't turn off, but if it does, well, thank you very much everybody for watching. So you could use this, because it hopefully won't unravel. That's cool. I'll go up there. I could just put my pin through that. I could just put my pin through that. Or this bit here. Because you've got all these little loops, look. There's a bit of cotton in it, but it doesn't matter. You can go through the loopy bits. Pick up as many as you can. It'll look like stitches, won't it? if you can find a bit of crochet like that, you know, I mean, just because I found it doesn't mean you're going to have someone know, I'm sorry, but there'll be something you can find that you can. These pins are terrible, you know, they're not one bit sharp, but they would stick in you, I'm sure. But then I keep getting it caught in the cotton. Come on. And you can just pin that on there like it's actually looks really cool, look more vintage like, doesn't it? This does. Like it would have been once connected to something. Because you're going to sew the pin on. Yeah, you're going to sew that pin onto the piece of work. So, anyway, I'll talk to you later. Stay safe. Bye-bye.